Hello, my name is Carrie Bellion, and I am a parent with a son who was born deaf. When we were informed shortly after his birth that he did not pass his newborn hearing test, we were shocked because we had no family history of hearing loss, and it was certainly not what we spent the last 9 months imagining our little family to start off like. We were worried and unsure of what our future would look like, what obstacles our son might have, and where even to start. I remember feeling like I could not even ask my own parents for support because they did not have any experience raising children who are deaf and hard of hearing. I was scared that I possibly did something wrong during the pregnancy and was even lost for words on how to explain this to extended family and friends. Later on in our journey, we learned that approximately 95% of children born with a hearing loss were born to hearing parents. Often that leaves families just like ours unprepared and uncertain with where to go and who to trust to provide unbiased information and support. I tried calling organizations and providers, anyone I could get a number for really, to ask them to help me, to make sure I wasn't letting my son down and help us understand what the next steps were. What I found were opinions and recommendations not based on what our goals were, but what providers felt a child who was deaf or hard of hearing should or could do. Thankfully, we met other families along the way who often were our sounding board for concerns or questions that we had. They were able to give us tips for family outings, what they had found that had worked for them when it came to keeping those hearing aids on, how to prepare for a babysitter, what to say when people ask questions, or even when they made comments that were less than helpful. I remember sitting watching my son, who was about 2.5 years old at that time, participate in a group therapy session when another mom asked me when our IEP meeting was going to be. I recall looking at her confused and worried that I'd messed up as a mom because I had no clue what an IEP meeting was, so obviously I didn't have a date planned for one. She took the time to explain to me that it was for services that would start when my son turned 3 and left the early intervention program. She shared when I should expect it to happen and the steps that would come before it. Although I still felt a little panic that I'd messed up, I knew what I had to do next and who we needed to contact. Connections to other parents who are also raising a child who is deaf and hard of hearing allows you to have a glimpse of the future, to know what questions and options lie ahead, and to hear and learn from their challenges and accomplishments. There is no reason for families to feel like they are on their own raising a child who is deaf or hard of hearing, and why should we reinvent the wheel? It is because of this, in Illinois, we provide a free one-on-one parent support program called Illinois Hands and Voices Guide by Your Side. Through this program, families can be connected with trained parent guides. The training the parent guide receives allows them to have a deeper knowledge of resources and an extensive understanding of the various types of hearing loss, modes of communication, and amplification options outside of their own personal experiences they have from raising their own child with a hearing loss. This gives them the ability to be better prepared to provide unbiased support to the families that they are matched with. Research shows that families who are engaged in family support are better prepared to manage their child's care and thus have lower stress levels. Many people are surprised to learn that 12,000 babies a year in the U.S. are born with a permanent hearing loss. This makes hearing loss one of the most common conditions present at birth, yet it's something that we can always see visually in others, which makes it harder to find families just like our own. Engaging in parent support does not mean that you are weak or unfit as a parent. Instead, you are choosing to grow and learn in an area that you most likely have little experience in. It is through the support of another parent that you can see the potential that lies ahead and be able to better navigate any hurdles that may come your way. Very early in our journey, I remember someone shared with me a poem called Welcome to Holland, written by Emily Pearl Kingsley. I encourage you to Google it and take a minute to read it. What stuck with me after reading this poem was that even though this isn't what I had planned on, we can still enjoy what is to come. It just takes a little more planning. Honestly, we would have missed out on so many great friendships if our son wasn't deaf. I hope that our family can meet yours one day, and until then, I wish you all the best on your own journey.